So the president.
But there's a difference, right?
Between current and current.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as current.
Electricity is on.
It's also current.
But if you are pulling the electricity on from, say, a woman down to how do you call it?
That is still current.
When did this man sleep last night?
No, I'm just asking for clarification for the People's Republic. This is not important.
You should see how Sammy Odami leaned forward to catch that one.
No, Kojo, that actually reminds me of something. Let me tell you a very funny story. So in level 200, Gogovi was teaching us grammar. So we're doing prepositional phrases. So he asked, give me an example. Then this guy will say, across the desert, in the classroom. They were giving lots of examples. Then he pointed at me. Yes, you. I pretended not to be the one. So I was turning as if, was someone else. And he says, it is you, the one turning. So out of the blue, then I said, on top of the girl. And Gogovi couldn't believe it.
On top of the girl.
He said, what? And I said, sir, isn't it correct? He says, but it is correct. But the example that you give is just like Raymond Acquah. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway, current. All right, so the president was in the Western region just yesterday, and he's finally given some direction on his strategy for fighting Galamsey. He says, look, Ghanaians can be assured that he will prioritize especially the Western region's needs and ensure that the fight against Galamsey goes beyond just the use of security agencies. He says his approach will actively involve chiefs and the youth in developing sustainable solutions. Let's hear him.
Your own son, Amoah, is formulating strategies for the implementation of our manifesto promise for dealing with this Galamsey menace. Our plan will involve the communities, including the chiefs and the youth, to take part in protecting their lands and forests and water bodies. We're not going to make it the responsibility of only the security agencies. We're going to involve the chiefs and the young people in the communities to help to protect your own lands, your forests, and your water bodies. We'll take urgent steps to halt mining activities in our forest reserves and on our rivers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful to note that the recent cholera outbreak is abating, but I urge you, our fellow citizens, to continue to take protective action by making sure that your sources of drinking water are safe and that you take the necessary steps to avoid being attacked by cholera. My brothers and sisters, Nananum, distinguished guests, fellow citizens, we stand at the dawn of a new era. Ghana is ready for a fresh start, and the Western region is going to be at the forefront of this transformation. I call on all of you, traditional leaders, religious leaders, businessmen and women, the youth and every citizen, to join hands with us as we embark on this journey of rebuilding Ghana into the country we all want together. We will move forward together with hope, unity, and determination. The Western region is the heartbeat of Ghana's progress. Let us therefore rise together and build a future that is prosperous, that is just, that is fair, and that is filled with opportunities for all. Long live the Western region, long live our homeland Ghana, and may God make it great and strong. Thank you very much.
So that was yesterday. So he says, look, he will be taking urgent steps to stop mining in our forest reserves. Well, there's one obvious urgent step that should be taken in that direction, which still hasn't been taken, and that is the repealing of LI 2462. Is there anything impeding that particular step at the moment?
Were promised before the year ended. In fact, one of the reasons why organized labor decided that they were no longer going to continue with the action that they promised was that the presidency have committed to repeal this as soon as Parliament got back into session. Parliament got back into session. They were divided. They prioritized other matters. In fact, the last few days, Kojo, you and I were here. I kept on reminding them that before that Parliament ended this tenure, they had a very wonderful opportunity to deal with that LI before they stepped out. They kept on telling us there are only two issues to deal with. I said, no, please, add this one, make it 3. Yeah, you can simple, right? Just 15 minutes to deal with this matter and move on with your life.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt that was more important than the other 2 that they were even talking about. But that really, I mean, they did other things. They moved on with their lives, and we are almost ending. Say we are in February, so say it's almost becoming. We are in the second or first full month under John Dramani Mahama. It is becoming clear that a lot more action is required. Clear, declarative action, because most of us in this republic have heard the talk before. And I said it yesterday, the man you replaced as president indeed put his presidency on the line, yet we are where we are today. So we expect, in fact, not just assurances that I will do, I may do, I can do, or we are formulating, we may formulate, or we can formulate. What people want to see is real action. That is what will be the defining moment. That's what will separate you from what's happened in times past.
Okay.
Nobody is waiting for any 4-year program or whatever. No. Please, at least you start with the small things. You start with the declarative things that we can all see and feel immediately, so that we know something is happening. And Kojo, is true. LI 2462 is something that you can easily work on. It doesn't require. You have the numbers in Parliament, even if 88 member opposition is opposed to it. You have the numbers in Parliament to ensure that the right thing is done. And I think it's one of the reasons the people of this republic gave you those numbers.
Okay, so Raymond, this is the NDC's manifesto. These days I like to make reference to it because it's the document based on which Ghanaians voted for President John Dramani Mahama. And under mining, it says the next NDC government will recategorize mining in Ghana into small scale, medium scale, and large scale, each with tailored regulatory, operational, and environmental and safety requirements. Promote sustainable small-scale mining as a profitable and a responsible business, especially for young people, by enforcing regulations and applying state-of-the-art technology, including AI, to track all excavators and geofence all small-scale mining concessions in Ghana. Ensure that mining operations are not conducted in unapproved areas such as water bodies, and that the concession holders rehabilitate impacted areas. Listen to that though. Okay. Facilitate the setting up of a mining equipment pool in each small-scale mining district to ensure easy and affordable access to necessary mining equipment. Enhance the capacity of the Minerals Commission to facilitate gold trade, provide mining support services, and ensure efficiency and sustainability in mining operations, and to regulate the sector. Facilitate equipment financing and mining inputs, strengthen the capacity of mining regulatory institutions to ensure efficient and effective operations and with quick turnaround times, amend and strengthen the laws regulating, governing regulations governing the Minerals Income Investment Fund. It goes on up to 18, which is develop special regulatory policies for the development of our critical minerals to ensure improved benefit for our country.
And this is all to be done. Well, that's the manifesto, right?
That's the manifesto.
But in the first 120 days, there was one item.
Yes.
That he prioritized on the Galamsey.
Exactly. That's the mining in forest reserves and
restoration
all of
of land.
Yes. My point simply is this. This is what you intend to do. It is very clear. What are we waiting for again? You say you're going to stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Look,
no more assurance. I mean,
we are going to do this. We're going to do that.
We understand the assurances. Please, action is what is required.
Now, let's deal with it. We know. Look, let me be very honest with you. Go to a lot of the mining areas. A lot of the youth are involved in illegal mining. In fact, we've talked about it here, where today they actually recruit other young ones to join them. So, first thing first, how do we ensure that people do not mine in our water bodies, in our forest reserves, and destroy our environment so that the food that we eat isn't polluted. Let's get to work. Because look, all the programs were put in place. These are the policies. Start the implementation. It's not now that we're going to be talking about.
We are not even disagreeing with you.
No, we just
don't
say-
need consensus on it.
No, just implement it.
We truly agree that you should implement it.
So implement what you said.
So
you're going
get
to
along
do.
with it.
Implement it. Let's move on.
Yeah, and you have to remember these are the same people who were pointing out the existential threat that Galamsey poses to Ghanaians in the run-up to the election, using it to highlight the failure of former President Akufo-Addo to fulfill his promise to put his presidency on the line and all of that business. They consistently reminded us that this is a life or death matter. Has that gone away? Has that urgency evaporated just because different people are running the country now?
Now, the Ghanaian Times is reporting this morning, new Hajj fare pegged at 62,000 Ghana cedi, down from 75,000 Ghana cedi in 2024. Now, that's on the front page. 62 is a huge amount.
Yes.
Now-
We're made to understand that this makes it one of the cheapest in the sub-region, if
I
not
see.
the cheapest.
Now, President Mahama promises to complete Takoradi Market Circle, that's on page 10, and give indigenous quota of employment at Jamestown Harbour, and that's Gamanche saying so. And philanthropist pays hospital bills for 213 patients in Kumasi, and it has a picture of Kojo, the road construction contractor, who
So
paid for
kind of him.
100,000 for people, and some people are in the hospitals. They are sitting there because they can't raise 2,000 cedis to clear their outstanding bill, and they have to stay. Sometimes I don't know who else is supposed to pay for the bill for the extra days or hours that they'll be kept in the hospital because they are unable to make payment for it. And it doesn't make sense, but that's our society. So he had to clear that of 213 patients who would have been struggling to make that payment happen anytime soon.
Thoughtful of him.
Yes, the middle page has other stories. The first batch of deputy ministerial nominees named, and all of them and their pictures are live here. A former Nooks financial secretary, Yusuf Isaka Jaja is here. I remember Jaja's escapades in Yankpala those days. Yes. Jaja is live and colored here. Yes,
Super morning show. And generally, bill files.
Nyankpala, the one that Raymond, is it the one that elected Wanda?
No, Yankpala. Oh, Ismail was elected in Yankpala after bombasting Kwekutu handed over.
Okay.
Yes,
So that was in 2008.
Yes, somewhere around there. Yeah, and we took the report very late in the night. Very late when people were tempted to sleep. Anyway, but also my former boss, Clement Abbas Apak, made me programs manager at Radio Universe. So he's here. Yeah. Dr. Apak is sitting here too.
You remember the vetting when Alexander Apenyo asked
What is the relationship
between you and
Clement
Clement Apak?
In fact, as for identifying Apak as deputy, Afenyo Markin has been the number one advocate for that position.
Yes.
Even when they were sitting in parliament, he said, I know where we are going. I can tell you that you, Dr. Apak, are going to deputy.
Oh no, but we had a conversation about Justice Remsai, for instance.
True.
And we knew he was going to be Deputy Attorney General.
Yes.
And it's come to, he's been named as the Deputy Attorney General. That's a very intelligent man.
In fact, that's one of the
Very
comforting,
very
what they
smart
call
guy.
it, once I've seen there, Shemsa is deeply wonderful.
I am not sure about having a Deputy Minister for Tourism and the culture and creative arts.
That's where Yusuf's going?
Yes, I do not think that we need even
I get you, yeah.
a Deputy Minister for Works, Housing, and Ministry of Works, Housing, and Water Resources. I do not think we need one. the Ministry of Local Government.
I support you 100%.
I don't think we want. So in effect,
in fact, it is also the public sector reform minister substantive that's beginning to give me some headaches.
Exactly. What's that all about?
It is increasingly becoming clear that John Dramani Mahama could have done 50 ministers.
Yes.
Even though the 60 was the target, some of these people could have still been asked to go to some other institutions.
I don't think we can actually do even 40 ministers.
Do you know the ministry where...
Well, maybe leave it to cabinet ministers.
Do you know the ministry where I actually... You guys might not agree, but I actually think that they don't need a deputy there. Defense. I mean... What's the? Do you understand? Like
it's perhaps one of the most structured systems you can have.
Yeah, the scope of work at defense requires one competent person to execute the president's,
who is the commander in chief.
Yes. Beyond that, deputy.
There's a National Security Council.
Exactly. You see.
Well, I get your point.
These are my views.
We'll come back to
the president also has his justification.
Is there a deputy minister for lands and natural resources?
Oh, lands?
Not yet.
Deputy lands.
I have not.
Hang on, let me see.
Yes, there is.
There is.
Yusuf Suleimana is the MP for Bolibamboy.
Raymond, this is what
His people protested that he has not got.
Yes, just before you continue, this is what I found, and this is Erastus Asaridonko giving an update.
Yeah.
On the 30th of January 2025, following intelligence reports, a joint operation was conducted by the Rapid Response Unit of the Forestry Commission, the military, and the police in the Afar Hills Forest Reserve and Amianso South Forest Reserve, all in the Bibiani Forest Reserve, to raid the place of illegal miners. Listen. In all, 16 excavators, 1 bulldozer, and other mining equipment were left in the reserve as the illegal miners fled before the team reached the scene. The team, in their interactions with local people, announced a deadline for those who brought the excavators that to move them out of the reserve, else drastic action will be taken when the team returns after the deadline. There's been extensive damage to a large area of the forest amidst ecosystem and biodiversity loss.
This is contrary to law.
Exactly.
The law stipulates, and we did a specific amendment for that to happen, that if people are engaged in illegal mining, you confiscate these. You take it to the court. The court will make a determination that these ones are to be sent to either the district assembly or whichever group you are supposed to do so. You said it's a team made up of military people and all of that.
And what's it called? The
Forestry
Rapid
Commission
Response Team of the Forestry Commission. Honestly, I am getting a very scary feeling of deja vu. Right? Like we've seen this before, where they just, run up on some of these illegal mining sites, go and show a bit of muscle, turn around and go home, and it just continues. Hey, you've gone to meet them doing it, and you've given them a deadline?
Can you believe that?
Kojo, let's get to the online issue. Are you done, Raymond? I think we can get to the online
issue.
Yes. But let me just chip this in. So General Smith, as defense minister under Professor Mills, did not have a deputy minister.
Okay.
So it's something that can be done. But I am now convinced that we can do not more than 50 ministers.
Did Kandapa have a deputy?
As National Security Minister, Did
Nitiwul have a deputy?
Nitiwul did.
He did.
Nitiwul did.
Okay.
Nitiwul did. But Kandapa, I need to check.
Okay.